Hello, everyone. You're welcome to Leadership Podcast. And of course, we are on to the main event of the day, which is the APC National Convention. And of course, it's an ongoing program at the Eagle Square, where members of the governing All Progressive Congress have gathered to choose members of the National Working Committee. A very big one in the country, because that is the governing party. And all eyes are on Eagle Square. Well, the event is here to start, but the convention itself is taking up on a very rough note, where hoodlums have gone to infiltrate the place and making it difficult for members of the party, journalists, and those who have business there to gain entrance. And of course, feelers from the venue of the convention, Eagle Square, has it that most of the hoodlums have forced security personnel to start tear gassing and whipping people out of the entrance of the convention. And as a result, genuine members of the party have angrily broken into the convention ground. And that is the stage we are now. Though President Muhammadu Buhari and the main actors, the aspirants, and others involved in the convention proper are yet to arrive the scene of the venue of the convention. Isua, you've been seeing what is happening, and of course, I think the best thing we'll do first is to actually show the situation there. Before we proceed, let's just quickly see what has been happening there at the convention ground. Of course, it's like the video is not ready yet.
Yes, but it's a very, very horrible situation, especially for journalists who want to cover this event. Even though we know that the event is not just to select leaders for the APC, but a lot of people, especially the members of the parties, are using this opportunity to campaign, because we saw a lot of posters. Those who are governors, they want to come to the Senate.
Well, before we go on into let's quickly watch what has been happening at Eagle Square, venue of the APC National Convention. Well, that is the scenario at the Eagle Square, where members of the party angrily broke one of the demarcated fence, forcing their way into the convention venue, and of course, overwhelming the security operatives. Well, Isua, you can imagine that this is something that one would have expected that would have been well arranged with security, the way security had been cordoned, the movement from to and fro that area is everywhere is completely blocked. Why it's very surprising that the security operatives were unable to stop those who have no business there to come closer. And of course, feelers from there is that they are even stealing phones.
Yeah.
Remember one of our staff here, the online editor, his phone was stolen. The politics editor, Chibuzo Kaibe, his own phone was taken. He had to fight as a typical Alabama to collect the phone back. Starting on this rough note,
Yeah.
what are we to expect?
You know, it's a political meeting, and you expect this kind of thing. It's quite unfortunate that in our political system, it's only people who are not decent that decide people who should be leaders of political parties. And even these people that are trying to be leaders of political parties, they move around with talks. And these are people who you can't vote for their characters. You know, some of them they do some things in the daytime, in the nighttime they do other things just to survive. And they are the same people politicians are carrying up and down. Imagine people traveling all over the country just to be in the three arms zone of Abuja, within the vicinity of the Eagle Square, where they are not even expected to go close, because the square meters of that Eagle Square cannot contain members of APC in one state, you know. But we are talking about 36 states here, and people coming with vehicles, you know, load with a lot of people, different kind of people. So you expect this kind of scenario, because some of the people are not just there to witness the convention. Some of them are there to see what they can grab. You know, don't be surprised. Vehicles will be stolen, you know, and mobile phones will be taken away, gadgets will be taken away. But it's part of political process, because there is no way you will have a gathering of millions of people and these things will not occur. So the security agents cannot just control these people, because the entire three arm zone have been surrounded by members of the APC and even non-members of the APC, because you can't just tell who is a member of APC and who is not a member of APC, because people who have genuine tax, you know, to cover this program have been pushed away. You know, if you try to struggle to get into the hole, is either they steal your money or they take your mobile phone. So
And then what we got was that even the tag is not being recognized.
yeah,
Perhaps yesterday, what really, as of yesterday, the whole thing shifted from the APC secretariat. It was the presidency that was now handling the issuing of the tag.
so
Well, before we continue, I think we have we have a comment there from a viewer, and what do we have to see there? Well, it's not quite clear yet.
yeah,
Perhaps.
let me read it.
Maybe you can read it
Yes,
clearly.
I can see it.
I am not seeing it clearly. What Jeff Fortune is saying there.
Yeah,
Perhaps.
but what I was saying
Mm.
is the planning
Mm.
generally of this convention was very poor.
Mm.
Yes, that shows very clearly that the planning was very poor. In fact, they are even working against the Electoral Act. The Electoral Act, you know, frowned at government officials using, public infrastructure to the advantage of their political parties or their political career. You know, just imagine, why should just a tag being, issued in the villa?
That is what I'm saying.
Don't they have committees?
Not even about it being issued in the villa. The fact is that the tag they issued is not even being recognized. Ordinarily, a genuine tag should have a picture of the journalist, his medium, so that they can identify him properly.
Yes, yeah.
Now you go there, you discover that even some of those who do long, they have this media tag.
It just shows how
How did
poor
they
the
get it?
arrangement was.
Well, let's see what Angel Fortune has to say there. From what I've seen so far, the convention is another jamboree. If the president put in same effort he is putting in mediating in the APC conversation, ditto effort in making sure his preferred candidate emerges, Nigeria would have been a better and more peaceful country. I'm not surprised because in this part of the world is politics above governance. The chaos and imbroglios rocking the APC apparently is self-inflicted, and I pray it lasts. You see the impression they have about
So yes, he may be from another
that if
political party.
Buhari would have been putting all this effort the way he's putting to make sure that his
Candidate emerged.
is the preferred candidate, Abdullah Adamu, emerges, the country would have been better off.
Well,
Angel Fortune has a point.
He has a point. He has a point, but from his tune, you know that he is not a member of the APC. So a member of APC cannot speak like that. But we won't ignore his point from the fact that
it is a voice of the opposition.
Yes, and that he is making a point that the people we have at the helm of affairs today, they tend to take things that are of benefit to themselves more serious than serving the people they have taken the oath to serve. You know, now you are ensuring that a candidate emerge out of 6 or so, out of many, because the 6 candidates we are even talking about, all of them, most of them are from the North Central. We still have Ali Modu Sharif, who is from the Northeast, and
Abdulaziz Yari.
Abdulaziz Yari, yes.
I think Ali Modu Sharif on Sunday, Ali Modu Sharif came out to announce that he was quitting the race because he discovered that it was Ali Modu Sharif who actually revealed that there was going to be a unity list. Okay. And of course, it was him at the same time who actually revealed that a preferred candidate had been anointed since last Sunday, and then things started playing out within the week.
But I'm surprised with Abdulaziz Yari, because Abdulaziz Yari was in the National Assembly to meet senators, during the week, telling.
I think we
have a comment.
Yes, we have Joshua Agagu. Joshua Agagu is saying, well, we'll see it clear anyway. We'll see it clear.
So I was surprised that Yari is part of the people.
Yes, we have Joshua Apagu. Joshua Apagu said Haruna D. Dibai thought the party is all about integrity. Why the imposition?
Well, I don't think
that. Wait, before you go, let me tell you. You see what Joshua Apagu is saying? He thought the party is all about integrity. That is the mantra that brought President Buhari to power. That is a man of integrity. All what you have been seeing in PDP will not happen in APC. In APC, everything will be done democratically and transparently. But now, APC is not doing the same thing. It was actually criticizing the opposition People's Democratic Party.
I don't think that
Joshua is talking about imposition.
No, that is not.
He feels that this
not
consensus arrangement is imposition.
No, that is not imposition. Okay. Because for other aspirants to agree to step down for the preferred candidate of the president is not imposition. In fact, the Electoral Act allows for consensus in election of party members that will stand for election and party leadership. So for for this aspirant to have stepped down, it shows very clearly that they are in tune with what the president say, and it's not imposition. If they had, said that we are not agreeing with what the president is suggesting, and went ahead to ensure that they play part in the convention with their delegates, and at the end of the day, either forcefully or they use some other means to catch them out, that will have been imposition.
Well, on the aspirant stepping down, good. Today, a letter signed from the aspirant indicating that they have unanimously stepped down for the preferred candidate, Abdullahi Adamu. That letter dated 25th, although it was made public today, was signed by one of them. That is the Minister of Special Duties and Intergovernmental Affairs and former Governor of Benue State, George Akume. And you could imagine that before they would have taken this decision and come up with that, don't forget that they had rejected outrightly the preferred candidate, and they were about to pick candidates from among themselves. I think it was even Mustafa and Amakura, the former governor of Benue State, who is now a serving senator, Nasami of Nasra State, Tanko Amakura. I think this took, we were not thinking between them who they should present and say, this is who we, the aspirants, have agreed on.
Is it because they are coming from the CPC
as of yesterday?
Legacy party?
That is where the whole crisis now, because at the end of the day, we have the legacy parties, and what the feeling they have is that Abdullah Adamu is not a founding member, he's not a core member of the APC. He is a decampi from the opposition People's Democratic Party. And the fear now is that you could imagine the people from nowhere who never knew how the APC came about will now come and begin to rule over them. That is the fear. And I don't think that is genuine. The aspirant didn't just concede to the consensus candidate. It was due to negotiation, series of meetings, and the rest. That is why they could even say it's imposition.
I'm surprised because Abdulaziz Iyari was in the National Assembly, and Abdulaziz said that he is going to contest that zoning is unconstitutional in their political party, that there is no place in their constitution that allows for zoning, because he is coming from the northwest and most of the aspirants are from north central, and which shows very clearly that the party has actually, prefer a chairman from the north central, and is still part of what they are trying to play, ahead of the 2023 general election. But for them to have agreed, despite the fact that Ayari had insisted that he will make sure that he contests this chairmanship at the convention ground. So for him to have agreed to step down, I think the party have gone into the consensus, and let's see how things play out. But we can't call this an imposition. It's not imposition. Yes, they agree and write a letter through George Akume that all of them have agreed with President Muhammadu Buhari's consensus candidate, and but all of them they have what they are doing, one or two things that they are doing within the party, and it's a party thing. So some of them that may have lose out either intentionally or unintentionally, the party must have to look inward and ensure that they give them position, that will make them to be happy, that will make their supporters to be happy and build the party they want to build. And with that, they can support the incoming chairman to achieve their objectives.
Well, it's why we are expecting to get our group politics editor who is on the convention ground, and while we wait for him to come up to tell us the situation of things are there at the moment, let's just quickly look at this issue of imposition before we go to the unity list there. We also have the Southwest that have just rejected Omisore, Yola Omisore, as the national secretary, and the thing has been thrown into an open contest. We'll come to that too, but for now, what is imposition? Let me give you a tip. Yesterday, Amakura issued a statement announcing that he's withdrawing from the race. He stated it clearly that he was not withdrawing because it is his wish, but he's doing so because of the leader of the party, President Muhammadu Buhari, and for certain reasons best known to him. But he knew that if he had gone to that convention and it was an open contest, he would have won outrightly. That is what they say. And then you now understand that when the push comes to shove, and you now see that you don't have any choice than to now dance to the tune of what your party demands. And who are the party? The leaders, the president, the governors who sat together and agree that Abdullahi Adamu is the consensus candidate. And the aspirant came out protesting, rejecting it as showing that they were not even consulted before taking that decision. Before you know, there were talks, meeting. As of Thursday, they were running from pillar to post, trying as much as possible to get the aspirants to concede to the decision of the president and the governor. That led to a meeting of the aspirants in George Akume's residence in Abuja. From there, they moved to meet with certain governors. After meeting with certain governors, they now proceeded to another meeting with the Secretary to the Government of the Federation and the Chief of Staff to President Muhammadu Buhari. All was to actually persuade, convince them to bow to the whims and caprices of the president and the governors. And from Amakura's statement, what we could hear him say is something like Ralph Prine will say, the bravest among men is he who accepts and embraces his destiny without grudges. When you force a man to just accept what he wants and he does it because he has no choice, like pushing somebody to the wall, you think it's not imposition. Because I'm still agreeing with
it's not imposition.
Joshua.
I have seen video today, Almakura dancing with Abdullahi Adamu concerning this contest.
You think the dancing is enough?
You know, they are dancing today, and I understand that kind of dancing.
A public show.
You know, Abdullahi Adamu didn't get it easy to get the ticket to come back to the Senate. And Almakura was the governor of Nasarawa State. Almakura wanted to use his education commissioner to contest the ticket with Abdullahi Adamu. Abdullahi Adamu had to beg Almakura that they should just allow him to come to the Senate, that he won't seek re-election into the Senate again. But at the end of the day, Almakura granted Abdullahi Adamu that request. Now, as the build-up to the 2023 election was on, you know, and it is still on, Abdullahi Adamu posters emerged that he wants to return to the Senate in 2023. And it caused serious issues, because you promised the other time that they should allow you to come to the Senate, that you will not come back, considering your age and all that. But now, he is the chairman of APC that will now have influence even over Almakura's ticket. You know, and you know, one of these APC governors, none of them wanted a chairman from his own state. Let us be clear. And that is why some of them were pushing for Akume, because Benue State is not an APC state. So that Akume will now have the liberty to run the party the way he wants. But if a chairman of APC is coming from the same state where the party have a governor, there will be conflict of interest. And I'm assuring you that more crises will be seen in Nasarawa State, because Abdullahi Adamu will now see this opportunity as a time for him to pay back.
Well, we have another of our viewer there commenting, and of course you can imagine that you see how to show you how critical this convention is to the life of the nation. You see that everything about the APC National Convention is what everybody is watching today. We have Adebayo Amodu, and he has this to say: I commend leadership for your up-to-date coverage of events in the political scene. Let me ask, why is Buhari insisting on a Fulani man as the chairman of the party? Thank you very much.
Well, Abdullahi Adamu is not a Fulani.
But he's a Fulani by proxy.
Well, I don't understand, but
a friend of a Fulani is a Fulani. That's how we say it.
But Abdullahi Adamu is from Nasarawa State. He's a tribal person. He's a northerner and a Muslim northerner. But he's not a Fulani man. You know, he's not a Fulani man. But I don't know why people, are making.
I'm sorry, Shua, before you proceed again, we have Angel Fortune there. Angel Fortune has this again to say. For me, I feel consensus candidacy and imposition is not that different. Imposition is a blunt way of saying it, while consensus is a subtle way of addressing it. When the people in this case, card-carrying members, come delegates, are deprived of the constitutional right to vote and be part in the process, To me, it is an imposition. Maybe we have to hear from the marginalized members in all of this. This is when we will know that it is consensus for the beneficiaries and imposition to the losers. You can imagine.
Who are the marginalized
And Jeff
group?
Fortune has brought us to that issue of imposition. We have been arguing here.
Yes, but who are the marginalized group?
The aspirants, of course. You think the aspirants are actually taking that consensus thing because they willingly did that?
They willingly did it.
They would have
Why,
been under pressure.
if it was
means here.
not by will,
Mm.
these people would just call their supporters and say, hey, we are not longer going into the race because somebody have been imposed on us.
But let me remind you what somebody told you. Could see, I think leadership got it, and I think if you see leadership weekend today was the paper, one of the papers that beat others to it. While most of the papers were reporting what our sister publication, Leadership Friday, reported yesterday, that the aspirants have rejected the Buhari's consensus arrangement. The other papers brought exactly what we reported yesterday. Meanwhile, leadership was reporting that the coast is clear for Abdullahi.
Leadership
Was ahead.
Yeah.
That the coast
Always
is not clear.
ahead since Friday.
That the coast is not clear for Abdullahi Adamu. As the aspirants concede to Buhari. And exactly that, just as the convention is about to start, you see the aspirants writing a letter signed by Benue State Governor indicating that they have all stepped down for Abdullahi Adamu. That is a very wonderful one. And in that report by Leadership Weekend, one of a source, a chieftain of the party that was private to the meeting of the aspirants, said why the aspirants were now thinking to choose between Mustafa, what is the Saliu Mustafa, one of the aspirants, or Tankwa Makura to be the person that will present before the party that this is our own preferred candidate. At a point, one of them raised an issue that some of these governors that are coming behind to tell us you people should not agree. Even within the governors that say they actually agreed with President Muhammadu Buhari, all of them were not actually in support of that. They were just forced to do that because none of them will want to tag themselves as bad because they know the implication. You can't fight the government. The highest you do, they will just dust your file, you'll bring out your records, show you what is waiting for you at the EFCC. You remember when Obiano handed over at the inauguration of Charles Soludo as the new governor of Anambra State. The next day he was picked while in Lagos. I think he was aware of it and perhaps he was actually trying to sneak out of the country.
He wanted to go and race.
Majority of the governors are second termers. Just forget that you are a member of the governing party. Even if Buhari leaves office, Buhari's anointed candidate will be the president of the country. And if they say, let's pay these people back. So some of the governors were not in support of that consensus arrangement. They were not coming behind.
Oh, is that the reason why they agreed with Buhari that EFCC should not investigate politicians? Because we know that the people, even the person Buhari endorsed, he has a case with the EFCC. And most of these aspirants and most of the governors, they have cases with the EFCC. So if President Muhammadu Buhari will not allow the anti-graft agency to do its work as it is required by law, trying to prevent them from doing their work in the name of cautioning the EFCC not to be partisan, I think that will be disservice to Nigeria, because anti-corruption agencies are never part of any political party.
They are not partisan.
And they should not be dragged into
but
saying that they should not be going after.
That is by the way. So the issue here, that is by the way, will come. I think that should be a topic for the big issue for another day. But for now, still on the convention, one of the chieftains who confided in leadership that the aspirants had finally quit the race for Adamu said at the point they cautioned themselves. This thing we are doing. Some of these governors that like one of my friends will always put it, Nicodemously sneak to us and tell us, you people should not agree. You must stand your ground. By the time they push us into this thing and the president sees us as being adamant, the same governors, when they go before the president, they will not even agree. They will even make it look as if they are supporting us. Let them not push us to take wrong decisions. and will now become the black sheep of the party, and then they will go behind and without the president knowing that that was the last thing they discussed before they now say, let's finally cave into. Let's just bow to the will
But
of the government.
I'm still surprised
That is
about
still in position.
yeah, no, I'm still surprised about the way and manner Abdullah Hadamu, being a PDP, a former PDP member, now being very close to President Muhammadu Buhari.
That
You
is
know,
in politics for you.
when
In
he was
politics,
when he was
in politics, don't forget this: there's no permanent friend. No, it's all about permanent
yeah,
interest.
because
That shows you that Buhari has a strategic plan for the 2023 presidential election.
yes, because Abdullah Adamu, when he was in the PDP, he said a lot of things about President Muhammadu Buhari. But when Abdullah Adamu joined the APC, Abdullah Adamu have been a staunch supporter of President Muhammadu Buhari. Abdullah Adamu nearly emerged as the Senate leader because of his support for Muhammadu Buhari. But the lawmakers now look at it that, okay, if this one is Senate leader, the work will be too much for him. It involves standing up, sitting down, standing up, sitting down at different occasions.
They were considering his age.
Yes, his age and all that. So, and for a sudden, after a lot of aspirants have campaigned, spent a lot of money, and the man just came from behind, all we had that President Muhammadu Buhari have endorsed him. And it was like a joke. It has come to pass. So I'm just wondering, what kind of a politician is this Abdullah Adamu? Will he use this, a magic?
Well, we have before we continue, you have the video of Al Makura and the rest of other aspirants dancing with Abdullah Adamu.
It's exactly what I was telling you before.
Yes,
so you can see it. Now, this is what politics can do. This is what politicians can do. That time when Al Makura was governor, Abdullah Adamu had to beg Al Makura for the ticket. Now, as the cost is clear for Abdullah Adamu to be the national chairman of APC, even the state governor, they will have to collaborate to see, how to, get people who contest different positions from the state. Now, Abdullah Adamu is now in charge, and Al Makura, if you truly want to return to Senate, he will have to be close to Abdullah Adamu. He has to be close to the state governor, and he has to be close to his constituency. So there is a lot of work for him and to do.
Well, I think if the convention starts proper, we will see some of those processes there, and I think the aspirants will be given a chance to speak individually, to tell us why they have decided to step down. Well, that is all we can have now for the chairmanship. And let's come to the unity list. Okay. The media subcommittee of the convention, its chairman and governor of Nasarawa State, Engineer Abdullahi Sule, told journalists at the World Press Conference, the prevention press conference, that the unity list would be ready as of that yesterday. Although the most journalists were of the opinion that he goofed, because no party will give you their unity list on the eve of the convention. It will only come at the convention ground. But this particular unity list too is actually we have another video here.
Oshomole is there.
I think Oshomole is arriving. Yes. I think about now most of the major players and the party chieftains. We are seeing him hailing, greeting. I think they are beginning to arrive gradually.
Yeah.
Back to what we were saying. Yeah. The unity list too is suffering a major setback. For instance, in Lagos, in the southwest, the president's preferred choice or the party's preferred choice, Iola Omisore, has been rejected. The members of the APC in Southwest rejected him outrightly. And because of that, 4 aspirants will be slugging it out for the position of the national secretary at the convention, because the position was zoned to the Southwest, comprising Osun, Oyo, Ondo, Ekiti, Ogun, and Lagos. And those for the positions are Iola Omisore, Adebayo Shuti, Olaya Olaitan, and Ifelua Oyedele. You know, the wild west, the Southwest are not this kind of people you impose things on them easily. before you agree on a consensus. It must really be a consensus. And you see that the consensus in the unity list for the position of the national secretary did not come out because the members there stood their ground that why must it be omission? They should throw it open. That is why for the national secretary of the party, it will be a contest where all these persons, aspirants from that zone I've mentioned, are going to slug it out at the convention
You know,
because they rejected omission.
well, they have their own reason for rejecting Omishore. And just like Abdullah Adamu, Omishore is coming from the PDP. You know, in the last Osun governorship election, Omishore contested under SDP. You know, and at the end of the day, when the election moved into second ballot, Omishore now aligned with the APC just to ensure that the APC win election. And after that, he returned to APC. And at the end of the day, they are now positioning him for the.
Sorry, before you continue again, I think one of our viewers is beginning to. It has come up. We have James Clement there, who is actually. I think James Clement has this to say. I hope that after this convention, the APC will choose a better candidate during the primary in the person of PYO. Who is PYO? Whom is the choice of Nigerians come 2023?
That is Professor Yomi Osibanjo. That's
Professor
an abbreviation. That's an abbreviation of Professor Yemi Osibanjo.
James Clement is actually trying to force us to discuss about the presidency itself.
Yes.
I know. We will come to that. We will throw because everything about the convention is a build-up to an Osibanjo is a major factor there because people are now looking at the president, whether he will look at his close ally or Tinubu that they work together in forming the APC, or he will decide to go for his own deputy. It's all about who the president will trust to hand over power to. And we have Abubakar Yunusa again, one of our viewers, and he has this to say: I love the doyen journalist. Isua is dissecting APC convention. He's referring to you.
Yes,
you are the doyen journalist.
Thank you very much, Abubakar.
You know, since you back that your award of excellence for what is it? The Sukukabi? What is that?
Okay, the Sekapu journalist.
The Sekapu journalist of the year.
Yeah, I
think people have come to start identify with you. Somebody is hailing you there.
Thank you very much, Abubakar. We will keep doing our best just to make sure that the country gets better. Yeah.
So what were we saying? We were talking about Omisore.
Yes.
We were there. Let's get there before we look at this.
So,
that
just like Abdullah Adamu, they are seeing Omishore as somebody who is not from the legacy parties that form the APC. He has his roots from the PDP and the SDP. So you can see where they will have some issues because from that unity list, a lot of people now see it as.
Sorry again, Isua. Before we continue again, we still have. You see, the comments are beginning to trickle in, and our viewers think that they should have a say on this program. And of course, you see, they are contributing constructively to the conversation on these live updates on the APC National Convention 2022. And we have Ibrahim A. Oladejo. Ibrahim has this to say: I hope the president and the new chairman don't betray Tinubu at the end. He said this one is for Tinubu.
Yes, he has supporters.
Ibrahim is a staunch Tinubu man.
Yes,
and what he's hoping is that the new chairman Abdullah Adamu and the president do not they won't disappoint Tinubu at the end.
Yes, because Tinubu said this race is a race of his lifetime.
Yes,
you know. So I think most of his supporters they may not care much about the convention in as much as their man will get the ticket.
I will tell you where this comes in. There is something that Makura said, and that is an exclusive, and of course we were even thinking of blowing it for one of these editions, but I think I'm forced to actually look at that too on the big issue. Before we go back to the Southwest and what you were saying, is where this is there was a Amakura's factor where he explained what really transpired that his rejection, the idea of rejecting him was because of his closeness to Tinubu. See how Amakura was edged out of APC chair. You see, facts have begun to emerge why Senator Umar Otanko Amakura, one of the frontline aspirants for national chairmanship of APC and others, were edged out. You see, they said some power brokers in the core north are not favorably disposed to Amakura's political alliance with Tinubu's camp from the initial stage. And Buhari said seem not to be comfortable with all Amakura's romance with General Muhammadu Guso and Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He said one of his closest associates, Pastor Tunde Bakare, names with her, said that he wasn't comfortable with Amakura's relationship with the duo. That is Professor Guso and Tinubu. You now see where this convention thing now is linked. The whole of this convention and the choice of the chairmanship, the national chairman is going now. It's all about 2023. When you see people like Ibrahim and who discussing about Sibanjo and Tinubu, you should know that that is a strong factor, and that is what is actually playing out in this convention. So it is beyond that. So that he said that Buhari had told one of his close associates, Pastor Tunde Bakare, that he wasn't comfortable with Amakura's relationship with Guguso and Tinubu. Because of these reasons, Buhari said was said to have disclosed to his associate who submitted the name of Amakura for national chairman that he preferred Abdullahi Adamu. And that was about 2 months ago. He said, since the day Senator Amakura visited Tinubu last year to inform him of his desire to contest for APC chairmanship, the die was cast. You understand? Some northern governors who are also major drivers in the emergence of APC chairman were not comfortable with Amakura's political romance with Tinubu, who is vying for presidency under the same party. So you now see that if I'm meeting with if this particular report, which already has not even been made public, this is a privileged information. Is anything to go by? And Amakura is said to have been edged out because of his romance with Tinubu and Guso. You can imagine that the presidency of the country, who emerges in 2023, is all behind the choice of the national chairman of the APC. So you can imagine.
I would be surprised why President Muhammadu Buhari will not support Al-Makura. Remember in 2011, Al-Makura was the only governor elected under the CPC. And what that means is that he was the one that actually sustained that political party up to the merger. So why wouldn't you support that kind of a person? Al-Makura, before coming into politics, was a businessman, and there is no way he may have not have a business relationship with either the Tinubu and the General Guso. So these are people who, even if they are politicians or they are not politicians, General Guso, all I know is his sympathy is of the PDP. Tinubu is of the APC. So you can now see, if truly you investigate and realize that, okay, this is just a business relationship
will definitely come back to actually give you updates on the happenings on the National Convention at the Eagle Square, Abuja. And Bode Badebo will be doing that later. For now, we thank you for keeping tab with us. Thank you for contributing constructively on the conversation on the live update of the APC National Convention 2022. Join us in the next couple of minutes or so, where Bode Badebo will come again to take you on the happenings at the convention ground. Do have a wonderful day.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.